Hey everybody, it is TorontoUnicorn here, chilling with my friend Steve, and we're gonna have some banter and see what makes the cut for YouTube. All right, Steve, you let me know what you wanna talk about.
Let's start with the bubble tea first. Where did you get your first one? I know this sounds boring and everything, but
I mean, my first one, like, that was in Kingston with a friend, and I was the first time I was like, because I was always scared of going in those places. I didn't understand how to order anything like that, and so luckily I had a roommate and I was in university. I lived with 5 people, so yeah, I think it was a lot of women energy. And so she was one of my housemates, and she took me for bubble tea. And I remember being like, well, what kind of flavors would I order? There's like everything from strawberry to like fucking tree nut. Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm just making things up. But like, there's such a spectrum. And so I was just very confused about where to even start. And I think that's actually a good metaphor for a lot of things. Is you look at something from the outside looking in, being like, it looks nice, I'd like to try it. I don't know where to start. I don't want to make the wrong decision. I don't want to make the wrong first step, because then I might, maybe what if I tried a flavor like caramel that for me personally, I'm not a big fan of caramel. What if I was like, oh, maybe not, and then I give up bubble tea? Well, what if your first, for example, swinger lifestyle experience goes south? Well, then maybe you're like, well, this is a fucking, crapshoot. So it's very important. Now, I had a very positive first experience. And I still to this day tell that girl, who's the wife of the first couple I ever had a threesome with, how lucky I was, as well as my viewers are, frankly, that, she molded me into thinking what was possible. She was a woman who let her husband come and have sex with me on his own. It was part of their kink in their marriage, and I needed I needed the friend to help me kind of get back in the game. Keep in mind, I had just gotten off a 10-year sexual hiatus, and so sex was a bit foreign to me, and I needed to get more comfortable with it again. And so when she would send her husband to me, she's like, if you want anal, tell him to put it in your ass. I'm like, all right, thank you. Like, she was so fucking great. And so it really to this day makes me that girl when I'm sharing someone to go out of my way to almost like cater their fucking sex with like a charcuterie board, because I'm like, well, whatever I could do to help. Like, it's a different thing when you are so freely sharing versus when you share with like reservations, I think. But it kind of goes all to circle back, is because my very first experience was a good one. What if that wife got jealous halfway through? What if I realized that there's too much drama and like I don't want to be involved in that kind of stuff? Like a bad experience really early on can be more impactful than it should be, even. And that's why I like to tell people when they're going to sex clubs for the first time, don't just show up randomly unless that's how you have to do it, because there's some guys that show up when they're not allowed, and I see them get turned away sometimes at the door when there's no single men allowed, and they're all hyped up, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, this could have been avoided. So I want people to have good experiences, I want the people to thrive when they're like ready to go. So and also feel well equipped, which is why I do the playlist that I do on my channel, literally an advice playlist called Advice for Singles who want to go to Oasis but don't want to go alone. It's very long-winded, but whatever. People resonate with what it feels like to want to be a part of this lifestyle and not know how to get in. So just like my friend helped me order my bubble tea, I hope my channel helps people figure out the pathway into the lifestyle for themselves. And it has. I've seen it. I've met them. Yeah.
I do have a question for you.